live on that. That one's not. That one was scheduled, so that one's going to go. That one's not going to happen.
Okay.
It's going to be a whole new one start here in a minute. You'll have to go to the channel and find it.
Oh, look right now.
It doesn't matter. We'll be on here for a while. They'll catch us. Yeah, Kevin's on there. He found it. Oh, yeah. So Zoom versus YouTube. Zoom wins again. Well, it's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mute my screen here. I'm watching the live stream on my notebook. I got dual screens going with Mac. But anyhow, sometimes what happens is the Zoom and YouTube don't play nice together. And,
yeah.
You know, the scheduled stream won't start for some reason, and then I just got to start a brand new one. So they'll find us. They'll find us in a little bit.
Okay.
But anyways, what's up with you? What are you back in Tennessee?
Back in Georgia. You caught me.
Well,
I mean, cracker.
I mean, you're back in the state. Yeah, go ahead. Is that your supper?
Yeah.
Well, you ought to just bring your supper in there and eat.
I'm not gonna do like Phil. Phil, if you're watching, I'm just eating a cracker.
Oh, he'll be in here. He's probably home by now. There's Mr. Folk Art and Camera from the Pacific Northwest.
All right.
Yeah, Kevin from Nature Photo Studios. The technology does work when it's it's great when it does work.
Right.
But, yeah. But anyways, I invited David Saylors to join us tonight because the main topic tonight is going to be vintage or older Nikon camera gear, and also older, if we get to them, older Nikon lenses. Now, David is a Nikon. Hey, say hey to David. David's a Nikon connoisseur. Okay. He's got more 50 millimeter lenses than anybody in the state of Tennessee does.
That might actually be true, though.
Kevin says he doesn't recognize you because you're not in your vehicle.
Right.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, I've been wanting to get David on here and talk about gear a little bit, and I found that I asked him today if he wanted to join me tonight. He said sure, so we brought him into the Zoom meeting tonight. Normally, if it was just me, I would just live stream. I wouldn't use Zoom, but since I got him on here, I'm using Zoom. Hey, Doug, I'm glad you found it. Okay. If you guys are on if you got the other scheduled stream still up on your screen, if somebody comes into the box over there, they should see the comment I left, so they'll find the new stream. But anyways, I wanted to start off by sharing my screen, and I wanted to kind of give some news here. So first off, I got to get my screen rolling. Hold on a minute. And where was I? It'll just take me a second to, I had to shut this screen down. Let's go here to my email. Well, start up here. I always get excited when Nikon sends out an email for their sales and stuff. And we're going to start right there with that as soon as I get my Zoom window back. Where are we? Here we are. Okay, now I'm ready. I had to get my browser open. So we're going to share. I'm going to share this screen right here with you. And this is Nikon's flyer that came out. Whoops, didn't mean to do that.
It was
this is
Nikon's flyer.
Let me get that back. This is what, I'm just going to leave it like that. This is what Nikon sent out yesterday, another refurbished sale. I just love Nikon's refurbished sales, okay? So let's just go through the list real quick and see what they got. in their refurbished. They have a Z8 kit with the 24 to 120. That's a good deal, $36.99. That's a real good deal.
The lens is essentially free, isn't it?
Well, the lens is that'd be about $600 off on that lens. So I think that lens right at $1,000, might be a little bit more than $1,000.
Wow.
But yeah, that's a good deal if you're looking for one. And technically, from what I hear, Nikon refurbished is almost like Nikon new. Okay.
It is. They run it through the same test bench that the new ones go through, from what I understand.
And it may be even better than new, since it's already been through, the hands twice. They got a chance to tweak it or whatever. A Z8 body only is $3,050. Now that's about $350 off. I think it's $33.90. Yeah, $34.99. It says $450 off. Wow. I didn't see that on there. So they got a ZRs with the 24 to 50 lens. I'm not really interested in a ZR. I know a lot of people.
I would like to have the 24 to 50 because it's got 50 in the name.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let me show you why. Let me just show you why.
Oh, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
We got to come back. We'll come back to that. David's going to show us something.
Because I have the 25 to 50 AiS. That's what this is.
What are you using that on?
The ZF mainly, but it'll also work on the D200 since it's AiS. But yeah, the 25 to 50 is it's a rotating barrel. This is your zoom ring right here. This is your focus, and then your aperture's in the back. So it's a 3-ring lens. But that's a manual. That's a manual focus. Oh yeah, it's an AiS from the 80s. Yeah, it's pure manual. There's no electronics in it.
Yeah. Is the glass really clean inside?
Yes, this thing is beautiful.
Where'd you get that from?
Stunningly good photos. I bought this one at Ball Camera in Asheville, North Carolina. But
okay, so it didn't come from Japan off of eBay or anything.
No, I actually found it at Ball Camera in the store and paid them right there on the spot for it when I saw it. They had one. I got
how much does a lens like that go for?
A little over $100. It was.
Boy, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was actually quite reasonable.
So while we're talking about that for a minute, we'll get back to the refurbished sale. AiS lenses versus new stuff versus FTZ adapted cameras, the ZF, let's say, since you got a ZF. So those AiS lenses will I guess they'll couple to the FTZ, no problem.
Yeah, but I buy these little simple rings from Amazon. Since there's no electronics in this, you don't need the FTZ. You just need the gauge line set with a dumb adapter, as they call it. So this one's a Photo-C Nikon F to Nikon Z mount.
So how does the camera recognize? So the lens is controlling everything. The camera doesn't know anything about what the lens is doing, aperture or anything. You're actually controlling the aperture manually.
Yeah.
And you're focusing manually.
And if you set it to aperture priority, it doesn't know what the aperture is, but what it does, it looks at the sensor data, and it computes the exposure based off of what the sensor's seeing. So it'll set the shutter speed and get it pretty darn close. I mean,
really?
Yeah, it works surprisingly well.
Well, that's a good. That's a question I've been wanting to ask somebody, because I have been looking at some vintage glass, afraid to buy anything, because every once in a while I'll run into a video about AiS, two different animals, but some of the camera bodies, and let's go back to DSLRs and film cameras, there's some lenses that you can't couple to like a, take a D200. There's some lenses that have a special, something cut out special in the lens. It's
this on the aperture ring. I'm gonna refocus here for a minute, so we'll have to come back to this. But okay. Yeah, I get it turned right. You see this little blade right here?
Yeah.
That drives the aperture feeler in the camera, so it knows what the aperture is. So if I put this on a DSLR, it'll know the aperture. If I go into the non-CPU lens data and tell it that it's an f4 lens, because this is a constant f4 lens.
Right.
If I get it close enough, you can see it. See that f4 down there?
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
If you tell it that, it knows that first click is F22, that's F16, and that there's a, in the
Okay.
camera, if I pull this lens off the camera, there's a little lever, kind of hard to see.
It's at the very top. I see it up there, the very top.
Well, that's the electrical contacts.
No, on the top, on the outside of the ring.
Yes, yeah. That's it right there. You're right. It's get the light on it where you can see
I
it.
see it. Yeah, I see it.
That little lever, it pushes that lever and communicates to the camera through that lever what the aperture is. So it'll know what the aperture is.
Okay, so you have to refocus. Yeah. So an AI lens does not have that.
No, it doesn't. I have.
So those are the lenses. Are those the lenses you cannot use on a DSLR?
Yeah, correct. It'll
or you'll hurt or you damage it.
It'll potentially damage that little feeler on the DSLR. The Z mount cameras don't have that, so you can't hurt them. That's why it's so golden to mount these on Z mounts, because they don't have the aperture feeler. So
let me see if I understand this. The AI lenses are not good for DSLRs.
Correct. Some of them, if they've been updated, if they've been AiS'd, they changed
the lens.
Yeah. The Nikon would do a factory update on your camera lens if you would send it to them back in the day, and they'd change out the aperture ring to this AiS aperture ring so it would drive the feeler. Yeah, the old ones, it's just round all the way around, and there's no cutout right there for it, so it'll bind on that little lever, and it potentially would damage it.
So if I'm looking at lenses and it says AI and I'm going to use it on my DSLR, I need to be considerate of that.
Yeah, the easy way to know is look at the back of the lens. Let me zoom back in here. Let's see. Get it focused. Yeah, right there. All right. On the back of the lens, there's a little, let me find it. Okay. This little divot is milled into the lens. I get it. The little
machine curve in the ring.
Yeah, it's milled in it, and it's radial. Yeah, if you look at it, it'll be it's like a little scoop cut out in the lens mount right there. There's a little pin on the cameras that drops into that slot. That's why it's curved. When you turn the lens, it'll push it out. And get my camera back on me. But that's an AiS feature. Only AiS lenses have that little notch milled in the ring. So if you look on the back and you see that little groove is milled in it, then it'll work on the DSLR and it won't hurt it.
Okay, so just so I understand, let me answer this guy. Howdy. Yeah. Just so I understand, if it doesn't have that little machined in curve and it doesn't have that little plastic piece of on that ring, then you need to be cautious about using those lenses on your DSLR.
Right.
But it doesn't matter on the mirrorless. You can use them all day long, AI or AIS on mirrorless cameras.
Correct.
Okay. And it won't affect the FTZ adapter. Is that correct?
Not at all.
That's good to know. I'm glad you're on here tonight because
Box 3.
Box 3.
I think this is a. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Here's an AI. Get it
what is that one? A 50?
50 f1.4 AI.
And that's an AI.
Let me get it up here in frame. Here we go.
See it? Yeah, I see it.
Well, I get it right. As I rotate, you'll notice there's no divot milled in it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. No worry on it.
Okay.
But this one does have the AiS upgraded aperture though, because it has this shelf on the aperture ring. I thought I had one that doesn't have that on it.
So if it has the shelf on the aperture ring but not the divot, is that okay to use on a DSLR?
Yeah, it just won't do whatever the S in the AiS is. It has something to do with metering,
auto,
I think.
I think it's auto indexing it stands for.
Yeah, I don't remember for sure, but as long as the aperture ring has that little shelf right there on it.
So, David, I got somebody in here making a comment. Tony says that AI and AIS will work on DSLR bodies. It's non-AI that will not fit properly without damage. So he's saying AI and AIS lenses will work on DSLRs.
Well, maybe that's a non-AI that I have. I have one that's got the round aperture ring in here somewhere.
So how did, well, I'll just ask this guy since he's made this comment. Yeah, AIS, he says AI versus AIS. AIS get automatic aperture control from the body. So Tony, how do you tell the difference between a non-AI and an AI lens? How do you tell the difference? Let's let him answer that.
All right, I've got a non-AI aperture ring right here.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's see it.
Let me get this stack of bins out of the way.
Yeah, don't dump it on the floor.
Okay. All right, what we have here. Let's see if I get the light right. As I rotate it, you'll notice there's no shelf right here to drive the aperture index marker on the DSLR. It's just round all the way around.
It's just flat.
Yeah, and if I get this lens out and I hold it right here, you can see that little. I get it.
Yes,
here, David.
Just to the left of the rabbit ears.
Yeah, you can see it right there real good. It's right here.
Yeah.
That is not present on this lens.
So that makes that lens a non-AI.
Correct. This one needs the aperture ring upgrade that they don't do anymore.
Okay, so that lens, that non-AI will not work on the DSLR without damaging it. So Tony,
Correct.
do you agree with?
You can't mount this one, it'll cause trouble.
So Tony, do you agree with that, what Dave is showing you there on the screen? I wanted to get this straight because I've been looking at vintage lenses, making some considerations about buying some older glass that you can find. Okay, there are pictures in the website link I sent from Nikon. Where'd you send the link to? Okay, I didn't see the link. But I'm just trying to get a little education.
Okay, I hold in my hand, let me get my focus right, there we go. Oh, there it went. Yeah. I hold in my hand the only AI or non-AI lens that will work on a DSLR that I'm aware of. If I hold it up and show you, get it over here in camera, you can see it's a solid ring aperture all the way around.
Yeah.
But to get it to work on my D810, I put it in the milling machine. Let me get it focused. Let me get the glare off of it. Yeah. Here we go. There we go. And if you'll notice right here, I milled a little notch in it with an end mill so it would drive the feeler. See that groove I milled in it?
Yeah.
I milled that in it with a milling machine so it would catch the lever on the Nikon D810 and I could get aperture measurements and it wouldn't damage the camera.
So you, in a sense, made your own retrofit.
Yeah, I converted this non-AI lens because I got this thing super cheap. This is that 105 f4 micro Nikkor from, it's super old. It does beautiful product photography too. That was the reason I kept it. I bought it to experiment on, then I liked it so well I just kept it.
I don't see, hey Tony, I don't see the link. I went back up through the chat box. You said link is in the chat. I'm looking for it. He says there's I wanted to bring it up on the screen. If I can find this link he sent, I'll bring it up on the screen for everybody to see. Let's come back to that in just 1 second. Let's finish the refurbished thing. And I do want to get into that a little bit more. So back to the refurbished stuff. You can get a ZR body, a Z6 II with a 24-70 f4. You can get a Z6 II body only, which is pretty good, $1,000 if you want the Z6 II. I recently got rid of mine because I wasn't really using it all that much. Z50, Z30. Oh, here we go. Here's a blast from the past. We're going to probably touch on this one tonight. The Nikon D7500 body only.
Oh, wow.
$529.
And that's, since it's factory refurb, that means it has a warranty.
Don't
it? Don't they come with a warranty?
I don't know. Let's look and see.
I bought a 70 to 200.
They have limited warranty. It doesn't say. I'm looking at the bottom here. It doesn't say how long. But typically, I don't know about refurbished, but typically at the used houses, the warranty is 6 months, 180 days from MPV and those places. Tony says, David, do you see the link I sent? He said it's in the chat. I don't see it. You said I found the chat, David. Do you see the link? Hello, Dan, Wolfgang. I don't see it. Well, maybe it'll appear here in a minute. I don't see it in the chat box. I don't know why. Hey, Tony, hold on 1 second, okay? Let me make one change right here. All right, Tony, I just made you a moderator. Try to post that link now, okay? Sometimes moderators have more power to do things than regular people. Try to post it again now that you're a moderator. That's when his name goes in blue, his chat box name, that means they're moderators. They can moderate the chat. And what's good about that, Doug doesn't see the link either. What's good about being a moderator in the chat box is you can actually click on their name and it'll take you right to their YouTube channel without having to paste and copy and paste and all that junk. So here it is. We got the link. Okay, I got it now, Tony. So let me pull that up on the screen. I'm done with this refurbished stuff, but let me tell you something. Just remember this: the Nikon D7500 is refurbished is $530 right now from Nikon, okay? Now, let me pull up this link that he sent. I think I can. Here we go. So, Tony sent us a link from the Nikon site that kind of lays all this out. So, that's good to know. I can read up on this. There's a lot of pictures. I like pictures. Here's what is the difference. All right, we'll see you later. Drive careful. My wife's leaving. She does that sometimes, leaves me in the evening time. I think she's got a boyfriend. Can you still hear me, David? I've lost David.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2,
David?
3. Can you hear me?
Barely. Your volume's really down. Did you knock that cord again on the floor? I remember you did that. I remember you did that one other time there off of that boom or something. No? Look down the pipe. Look down the pole. Is there another connector? I remember one other time you were streaming and you did that. You knocked the cable or something. Still can't hear you.
1, 2, 3.
The volume's really low.
1, 2, 3. How about
No,
now?
still low. I don't know. Hit it with your hand. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see it trying. What if I talk like this?
Sound like you're in a barrel. Last time you did this, you knocked something over there on the end of that pole somewhere. I don't know if it was on the floor or where it was. I remember you doing a live stream and did this one time. And something came loose or something. Anyways, while he's doing that, we'll look at this website real quick. If I can get it pulled back up. Fiddle with that a little bit, and we'll look at this. I'm going to look at this website some more. So, yeah, on the Nikon website, Tony sent this in. There's stuff there. And you guys can copy that link for yourself and pull it up in your browser. But thanks, Tony. This is good information right here, okay? I guess I should have known to go and look myself. But anyways, what I really wanted to know is, does it mention about certain camera bodies, you know, just kind of like plain English? Is David correct that, you know?
Hey.
Now you're better. Now you're better, David.
Now I fixed it.
Okay. Don't touch nothing. Don't touch nothing.
All right. I ain't gonna mess with it.
Yeah. So anyways, there you go, guys. Thank you, Tony, for sending that website in for us to look at. And I'm just going to leave him as honorary moderator. Okay. Anyways, you can be a moderator forever. Okay. That way you can post all. Time. Yeah. So, you know, I'm looking at these older lenses, okay, and from a landscape photography standpoint, okay, let's talk about some of the older glass that would be useful on a newer DSLR body, like a D7500, any of the D7000 series, or I'm talking about crop sensor now, and D500, all those crop sensor bodies. From a landscape standpoint, did Nikon they never made crop sensor lenses before DSLRs?
Correct.
Okay, so every vintage lens is going to be a full frame lens.
Correct.
Okay, so from a landscape perspective, okay, if I was looking for a good all-around telephoto, not a telephoto, a mid-range zoom, something from about, let me see, I would be looking for something from about an 18 millimeter to a 100 millimeter in that range, in an AI or AIS, okay? What would I be looking for landscape? Aperture doesn't matter.
It's not AIS, but there's the 18 to 200 DX lens.
Yeah. But I'm talking about vintage.
This is old.
Is it?
Yeah, they made these in like 2010. It's old.
That's got is that a AFS lens? Silent wave?
Yeah.
It's got VR.
Yeah, it does. It's got an ED lens element. This is the G2, but it's actually made in Thailand.
But let's go back to vintage, though.
All right, I don't know
what's available in the vintage area for landscape photographers.
There we go.
What are some good lenses to probably pick up? Got any clue?
I'm not sure what their wide-angle manual lens was from back in the day. I'm sure they made one, but before the 14 to 24 existed, they had to have something that they used. I know there's a 20 millimeter that predates the one that I sent you. They had a manual focus version of that lens. I will search right now.
I had a 20 millimeter, I think it was 20 millimeter AFD lens that a friend of mine lent me up here.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking to you about one time about the D lenses. The D lenses would transmit distance into the mirrorless bodies through the FTZ adapter. And in the bottom right-hand corner of the viewfinder, if you were focusing, it was almost like the old days where the split prism was. If you were looking inside the viewfinder, in the bottom left corner would be the two little arrows that would fight each other. And then when the dot showed up in the center, that means you were focused where the focus point was sitting.
Nice.
And that's why I was asking you about the AS. The AFDs transmit the distance information to the metering in those cameras. And I think it works the same way in DSLRs if you couple an AFD lens to that. and you're manually focusing it, you can get it to kind of dial in yourself.
Right.
I don't know if you might try that on your ZF with an AFD lens and what I'm talking about, and manually focus it while you're looking through the viewfinder. Let's see if I'm wrong about that. So Dan Wolf, I guess it's Dan Wolf. I just call him Dan. He says a 28 to 105 f3.5 to 4.5 was pretty great. It's an AFD lens. Okay.
I just cheated, and I went to the Nikon serial number website because they sort them by focal length in millimeters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a bunch of fish eyes. You don't want that for landscape. But here we are. There's a 13 millimeter f5.6 AIS. There's a 13 millimeter f5.6.
Okay.
Oh, you're not going to find one. They only made 300 of them.
Oh, there you go. It's probably 10,000.
They did make. This is an AF lens. Let's see, AIS 15 millimeter 3.5. They made nearly 9,000 of them, so you can probably find a 15 mil. They made some 18 millimeter AIs, 18 and 3.5 AIS.
An 18 millimeter prime would be a good. It'd be a good couple for a crop sensor body.
They made nearly 14,000 of them, so you'll see them pop up from time to time here and there. You might be able to find something like that at MPB.
I'll look and see. I think I've seen a 13 millimeter one time, and the price was outrageous. It's like $5,000 or something.
Now they got those weird fisheye lenses that get, the millimeter gets really small. Them things get ludicrous.
Talking like an 8 or a 7.
Yeah, some kind of crazy wide angle fisheye lens. But then the next one that jumps to is the 20 millimeters, and there's a ton of them things.
Yeah. Now, Dan says that a 20 millimeter was considered an ultra wide back in the day.
And it's wide.
He says the 18 millimeter was exotic.
Yeah. Who was it? Might have been Ken Rockwell said like 24 millimeters getting kind of strange. 20 millimeters is weird. And 14 millimeters is a completely different world. Something like that. That's paraphrasing a little bit, but yeah, it's getting really weird at 20 millimeters,
Yeah, Tony's saying he's not familiar with a vintage lens wider than a 20 on the F mount.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. It's just that, there's a bunch of choices. There's not a lot, like they're not high production count. They made an AF, which is what? That's an autofocus lens, isn't it?
AF would be.
Yeah, it's 14 f2.8 D ED AF. They make over 24,000 of them.
And that's an AF lens?
Yeah.
I mean, AF lenses are usable, but for my old eyes, I like to have that indicator dot in the screen telling me I'm focused before I push the trigger.
Yeah.
I grew up on the 1970s. My first camera was a Nikon FTN, and it had the split prism inside the viewfinder, and you had that's how you focused. You kind of lined it up.
Right.
It was that was old film. I mean, I bought that camera from Beach Camera in Daytona Beach, Florida, when I was about 17 years old for my paper route money.
Wow.
Yeah, I got interested in photography, and for Christmas, my parents bought me a used camera. I don't know if anybody knows the Angry Photographer, but he used to work at Beach Photo. Now, I don't remember him.
Oh, really?
He used to work there. And I can recite, this is 50 years ago. I can recite the owner's name. His name was Alan. It was either Robinson or Robertson, okay?
Wow.
But he was the owner of Beach Camera on Main Street in Daytona Beach, Florida. And that was the camera store in Daytona Beach. That was the one to go to. But when I was in high school, I had to get my own camera. They had loaners, but I wanted my own. So my parents bought me one for Christmas, and they bought it from Beach Photo, and it was used. And you're not going to believe this. You probably had never heard this word before, but it was a Miranda, okay? It's spelled M-I-R-A-N-D-A. and it had a cloth shutter in it, and it worked really good as long as you was in Florida. But if you took it out of the state of Florida, the shutter would stick, and you get a whole roll of film back, and about half of your exposures would be black on the top and exposed on the bottom where the shutter had stuck open. And the first roll of film that happened to, and I used to get my film developed there at Beach Photo. I showed him the pictures. I said, "What's wrong with my camera?" And he got to looking at it, and he says, "Well, the shutter is dirty. The whole camera's dirty." And I think they only paid like $50 for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I just started saving my money on my paper route, and I bought an FTN with a 50 millimeter. I think it had an f2 lens. I couldn't afford the faster lens on it, and that's what I shot with for 15 years. That film camera.
I have a example of the first interchangeable lens camera I ever bought. I sold the one I actually had on eBay about 15 years ago, but Craig Morris, guy that follows me on this channel, he come into this bag of camera gear, and lo and behold,
Santa Claus.
In it. The
What is
exact
that?
model that I used to have. It's a Yashica FX 103 program. And
Oh, really?
yeah.
Is it in pretty rough shape, or is it pretty good shape?
No, it's in great shape. Actually, the fake leather done this on all of them. It's like the surface would rot and it would just kind of flake off. But yeah, it's made by Kyocera. It's a Kyocera. Whoops, if I drop it and break it, but
Have you put any film through it?
not this one, not yet. I haven't even put batteries in it yet. I just got it out and brought it in. But yeah, you have to. I would have to. It's got an electric shutter, so you have to have batteries for it to work. But I ran it in program mode on the other one the whole time I had it, and it took beautiful pictures. But
Woody's in the house. The Ray Saldano's in the house. He says he loves his 14 to 24, but I don't use it too often. Now you probably got to have a back brace when you do use it. Woody wants to know how Clint is today.
I'm good.
Hey Joe, how's it going? I rarely use anything wider than an 18 or 20. Joe's in Alabama. And then I got Thomas. Hey Thomas, how's it going? Hello, how you doing? Thomas McEwen. I think he's from Nashville. Are you from Nashville, Thomas? I think he's the creator of the Tennessee Wildlife Photography and Videography Facebook group, but I think he gave it up. He gave it up like many of us do because it was too much work.
Right.
But I believe I'm correct on that. I think he lives over in Nashville way, Franklin way, somewhere over there. So welcome to the live stream tonight. Well, I like to see you put some film through that. Get you some Kodak Tri-X and put through it.
I have some Ilford HP5 in the refrigerator.
Do you?
Yeah, I got batteries. I got a whole. Go down that rabbit hole of old cameras.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll be right back. I got to show you something. Okay.
This little divider. This is just camera batteries. Also, there went some of them I dropped, but yeah, that's all camera batteries.
So, wow.
Yeah,
Well, that's good that you keep them. That's good that you keep them in one place.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine, I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can show you over here. Look over here. Well, you can't see it, but there's a desk over there, and that's my charging station. Okay.
Okay.
It's got more charging stuff over there than a. But anyways, let me show you something here. I was snooping around in the other room the other day, and my wife's got a desk in there, and I was looking for something, and I ran across this box.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but wait a minute. It's never been opened. I thought, oh, look at here. Here's some color 24 exposure rolls, color Kodak film. And then I got to looking on the back at the expiration date, and it expired in 2012. Well, I'll tell you what. If you want it, next time I come to Chattanooga, I'll bring it down there. I'm not even going to open
it. Put it in the freezer to stop its degradation. freeze it for now. And then the next time we get together, yeah, put it in the freezer, and it'll keep it from getting any worse. Because like for every decade of expiration, you add a stop of exposure. They've got a system so you can shoot it.
Oh, okay.
It'll make photos.
So it's about one stop of exposure difference then.
Yeah, just a good. But I'll film camera, run it through it.
I don't have a film camera. Okay. Now don't say why don't you go buy one, because I would. I would. Let's see what the chat box said.
I have Thomas just the film camera. Like a R8.
Okay.
With a 50 millimeter Summicron R.
Well, maybe I just put it in the mail to you, you know? Maybe you better hurry up and shoot it and get it exposed. Thomas is just south of Nashville. I thought he was that way. Woody says, I got a few photos of a northern flicker yesterday. They've been hanging around a few days. I have not seen any northern flickers at my house this spring yet. Okay. Oh, Ray says they don't need no back brace needed for the 14 to 24, but then again, I hang my 120 to 300 on a harness for an entire football game, shoot it handheld. My idea of a heavy lens is distorted. Yeah,
Ray is
Hey Joe, that's fine, Joe. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. Well, I mean, I like somebody needs to take a picture of him on the field with the two Z9s hanging off of him. Okay.
Right.
Okay. With big lenses on both of them. Somebody needs to do that. You know.
Last time I got a photo of him, he was doing I think it was a soccer game, and I got a photo of him down on the field, and I think he was running one camera that day. He'll let us know in the chat.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, we'll see you later. Joe says he's got to run. Well, anyway, that's good information about the AIS and AIS lenses. I don't know who this is. Oh, hold on one second, all right? I'm going to mute myself. All
right. Yeah, I've done a lot. I'm gonna go down a tangent while he's doing that. I've done a lot of lens mods over the years. Like this one, I milled the notch in it so that it would drive the AI or the indexing pin on my DSLRs. This is a 105 millimeter f4 micro Nikon macro lens. That's actually a really nice lens. It takes really good photos. Another one that I've modified over the years. I bought this 200 millimeter, and this is an AI, I think. I'm pretty sure it's just an AI. Yeah, this is a 200 millimeter AI, and I machined out a notch on the back of it and added one of these dandelion chips that tells the computer what kind of lens it is. So you could buy these at one time off of eBay. Some guy in Russia was making them, and you programmed them with a DSLR, and it knows that this is a 200 millimeter f4. So it can set the metering and everything for that lens based on this, and it saves the EXIF data, which is kind of nice. I've done 2 of these lenses. The other one, I did a 28 millimeter AIS, and those you don't have to mod. You just glue it on, and then it works. But that was a cool little modification. I actually have one of these left I found the other day that I never did use. But I bought this lens for like $80 at the time. It was really cheap, thinking I'll just use that as my guinea pig. And it turns out it takes beautiful photos, and it has a built-in lens hood. I was like, wow. When? So I kept it. Yeah, I bought that just to experiment on. And it worked out to be, actually, it's a really nice lens. But I've got so many of these vintage Nikon lenses I've picked up over the years. These things just take stunningly good photos. But yeah, if you get AI and AIS lenses, you'll be fine. It's just that you have to get used to manually focusing. Remember those? Nice. Hey, Greg's in the house. How you doing, Greg? I'm considering the Z 14 to 24 because it's really not too heavy. Yeah. I thought about getting the wide angle lens, but I don't shoot wide very often. Just every once in a while I need a wide lens, and so I'll get one if I do. But
I probably missed a whole bunch of good stuff now.
Just David's lens mods section, the segment on David's lens mods. I'll tell you right quick. This is a 200 millimeter f4 I bought for super cheap off eBay, and I put it in the milling machine and cut out the aluminum right here so I could glue on this dandelion sensor, so it makes it like an AF lens, and it gives it EXIF data. See it right there? See the electrical contacts?
Yes.
I added that to the lens so that the camera would know this is a 200 millimeter f4, and it'll create EXIF data, and it talks to the lens, and it gives it shutter control, believe it or not, or like you can actually control the aperture of this lens with the wheel on the DSLR with that chip in there.
I had a guy, I had a 300, this is about 25 years ago when I first got my D1X, and I had a 300, I can't remember what it was, if it was a F4, but it was an AiS lens or something like that. And I sent it to a guy, he was in North Carolina, I remember this, and paid him, this is back in 2000 now, I might have paid him like $150, and he did what you did, he modified the lens and made it CPU compatible.
Yeah.
And they put the chip in it and all that stuff, and then sent the lens back to me. And it worked, it worked. But
yeah, there's at one time you could go on eBay. I'm gonna pull up eBay on my computer and see.
David hijacked the show.
Let's see here.
Hey, Dan, if you're considering the 14 to 24, where'd it go? Oh, Dan Wolf says he's been considering the 14 to 24 because it's really not too heavy. Like it's under 1.5 pounds. I'm not sure what you're shooting for there, if you need the 2.8 for Astro or whatever. But if you haven't looked at it, I would recommend that you look at the 14 to 30 f4 for an all-around sharp lens. Okay. When I got into the mirrorless, how'd you do that? When I got into the mirrorless system, when I got in. I've got it switched so you can do that automatically. When I got into the mirrorless system with the Z6, the first mirrorless I bought, that was the exact first lens I bought, was the 14 to 30. Because I'd been shooting with the D7500 and the D7000 series with the 12 to 24 f4 for so long, I wanted that wide angle.
Nice.
So,
did it work
Melissa,
well?
Hey Melissa, how are you doing? Melissa's in the house. David, do you only shoot with vintage lenses, she asked?
Not all the time. Oh, great. Okay, is my audio back?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you.
All right. I was making sure when I shared the screen, it turned off my audio. But those are the dandelion chips. But most of the time, yes, I do have modern cameras. This is the Leica SL2 with the 50 millimeter Apo Summicron L, and I have the 50 millimeter f1.8S for my ZF. But I just enjoy the vintage lens. The whole experience is just fun to me. Yeah,
I want to get into some more vintage stuff. Lenses. I haven't really. I guess I've been too much around the modern stuff. And I feel like I'm missing out on some things to increase your interest in photography. I think both of us have talked about that. Our photography interests kind of in a funk for the wintertime, and
right.
kind of hard to get out of it. I try really hard. I get out but like this week here, I went out last Thursday with a photographer that came down from Kentucky, and we were out all day Thursday, but that was the last day I picked up my camera. I didn't go out anymore after last Thursday. And, back a long time ago, and I'm going to look at some pictures tonight, we're going to discuss some things, but a long time ago, I was out every Saturday when I was working, and I don't know.
You was working.
I don't know if retirement's made me lazy or what, You know, I don't even get in the backyard very much and photograph the birds that are there. I still feed them, but I don't. It's just like that part of my photography doesn't interest me anymore. So this morning, I give you an example of what does interest me. This morning, I woke up and I was laying there in bed. It was raining out a little bit, and I thought, you know, I've seen some photographs recently that the daffodils are out around these old home sites and stuff. I said, you know what I ought to do? I ought to get in the truck, you know, and pay that $3.29 a gallon right now. Diesel's like $5.15 in Crossville. I don't know what it is down in Chattanooga. Wow. Yeah, it's $5.15 at the Pilot. But I thought I had to get in my truck, and there's about 6 or 7 barns, you know, within a 30-minute ride of my house. I had to just go check them out and see if I can find some daffodils, you know, that are at these old home sites coming up, and somehow get a composition going where I get the barn with the daffodils. But you know what I did? I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
You didn't do that at all?
No, I didn't go out, you know. You know, I didn't even go to the gym today. Usually Wednesday's my gym day. I didn't even go to the gym. I'll probably go tomorrow.
I went for a photo walk yesterday. I pulled 17,000 steps yesterday, so I had a good walk.
Yeah, was you in? Where'd you go?
Downtown,
Chattanooga.
Yeah, I parked across the river up at the Whole Foods, which is over on Manufacturers Road, and then
that's across the river.
Yeah, on the North Shore. Walked over the river all the way down to 20th Street, which is the next major artery past Main, and then across, and then back up Broad all the way to the river and back across the river and down to Whole Foods. It was like 7 miles, I think, 6 or 7 miles. I
hear that the Walnut Street pedestrian bridge is supposed to be open the end of September.
Yeah, they're close. They're on like the last section, so yeah,
good.
It should be soon. They've been
I've never
with it really fast.
I've never got a chance to experience that bridge.
Oh, really?
No, but I've only, you know, I didn't really start going to Chattanooga till, you know, year before last, or yeah, I think it was year before last. And they were last year when I was down there with my e-bike, they had closed it already. So
yeah.
Woody said it was 89 in Virginia today. Yeah, my mom come out of her house today. You know, they live right next door now. Mm-hmm. And she came over to my house to get my wife to trim the back of her hair. And I went outside and was sweeping off the sidewalk that she uses. It had some stuff run off from the driveway, and I didn't want her rolling on some gravels or something. And as she walked by me and she went back to her house, she stopped and she said, "When are you going to mow the grass?"
February? No, it's March now. But yeah, still winter time.
I said, "Mom, it's too early to mow the grass." But it's growing, she said. This is at her house. I said, "Tell Ray to quit putting fertilizer down." Okay? That's my stepdad, Ray. I said, "Tell him to quit putting the fertilizer down." So Tony says, try some M42 mount lenses on your Z bodies. You will lose infinity focus. On a DSLR, you will either lose infinity or have a degraded piece of glass in the DSLR adapter. I have a few Pentax M42s. Oh, he says will not. He says will not lose infinity focus on the Z. Typo in the first comment. Yeah, Greg. Look here, Greg Wilson. What's that?
28 millimeter f3.5 Pentax Asahi M42 mount.
So the M42 mount will let it go onto the Z?
Oh yeah, with an adapter, screw right on.
Oh, you gotta have an adapter. How much is that lens?
This one was free, but you can buy these, the F3.5 ones you can buy for like $60. You won't get the lens hood. The lens hood is a kind of a hen's tooth. But yeah, you can get these lenses pretty cheap.
So that's a Pentax, what'd you call that?
Asahi Optical. This one's a Super Takamar. They have about 5 different versions, but Asahi Optical Company made the lenses for Pentax, and it's ASAHI Asahi Optical.
What millimeters is that?
This one's a 28 millimeter f3.5.
Manual focus.
Oh yeah, it's 100%. This lens was made in the 60s.
Yeah, I need lessons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Z right now, let me just show you what the Z is currently sporting. You know, to his point. Okay.
Hey, Greg, how's it going? Out in California. Glad to see you made the live stream. If it would help you, I could start them a little later.
Let's just do that.
I've seen this before.
Yeah, this is a 55 millimeter f1.8 Pentax, and that's the M42 to Z adapter. It's just a ring, and you screw this on.
Where do you get that adapter?
I got it from Amazon. It's a Photocy M42 to Nikon Z mount. It's like $20, $25. They're not much.
Really?
Yeah, they're very cheap.
Huh.
And then here's the beautiful thing about these adapters. If I can get the light to hit it right. Yeah, right there you can see it right in here. You can see that little hole in it.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them holes around the lens. There's another one on the bottom. See it right there? They have set screws in them. Okay, this lens screws into this amount. So if it screws in and it times up upside down, say, you can loosen those 3 screws and index the threaded ring. See how the ring is silver? That ring is just sitting in there, and them 3 set screws hold it in the adapter. So you can just screw this in, loosen those 3 set screws, and spin this till it's top dead center, tighten the set screws back down, and you've timed it to the camera where it's positioned correctly. Is it necessary? No. But is it convenient? Yes. The lens will work perfectly mounted upside down. It's just you can't see the aperture ring if it's on the bottom. So you loosen them set screws, turn it till the aperture ring's on the top, so you can see the data, and it works beautifully. But yeah, and it'll come. The adapter usually come with the Allen wrench. So
on that, you on that lens there, that Asahi, you said that was an Asahi something.
Yeah, let me just zoom in on the front of the lens here so you can see what I'm talking about.
I mean, if I was looking for one of these lenses to try this.
See that Super Takamar at the top?
Super Takamar. That's what you said.
Yeah. They make Takamar, Super Takamars. I think that's the lens coating, but you can see it says lens made in Japan. And then if I rotate it around, you can see it says Asahi Optical Company on it. Right down here. Yeah. That's the company that made the lenses for Pentax. You know, like Nikon makes them for Nikon. Asahi made them for Pentax. But yeah. Super. Yeah.
Takamura, is that, what, how many millimeters is that one?
This is a 55 millimeter f1.8. Bear in mind, here's the beautiful thing about this. When you go to manual and you go to M42 mount, that's a 55 millimeter lens. Right.
So let me share my screen real quick. So here's one on eBay. Okay, I'm showing my screen here. Yeah. Here's one on eBay for $44.75.
Right, there you go.
It's in the U.S. Let's see what he says about it. Looks dusty.
Hard. It looks a little rough. It might clean up, but it'll take photos.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you're doing this vintage.
As long as it don't have any fungus or haze in it, it's a good lens.
It says here, not tested, some light wear on the focus ring, made in Japan. Please ask if you have any questions. That's all he says about it.
Yeah. Go back to the next one.
Let's see, what was the next one? Here's one right here for 75.
Go down to the next one. The next one down was 48.
48. Here we go.
Yeah, mine looks about like that one. It might be a little nicer, but I got this one off eBay like that.
Yeah. It says very good. It says used, but very good condition. In the comments,
look at the mount threads, and if you look at the mount threads, and they're not real silvered. See how that little ding don't hurt nothing. But the threads on the mount ain't got a lot of wear. It's been mounted and used, but not a lot. That lens is in good shape.
It is?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to save that in my watch list. Oh, I got to sign in.
Just check the little, I'm pointing at the screen. Check the little heart. That'll do it.
Oh, I got it. I still got to sign in.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm not signed in, but I can find it later. So for that, and if I go, you said if I go to Amazon and look up a M42 mount.
M42 to Nikon Z.
Oh, to Nikon Z mount.
There it is.
There's
one.
$12.
Yep. That's
So
it.
for like $50, I could have another lens that's probably pretty good.
It's excellent. Look what Tony says. I have the 55, and it's a fantastic portrait lens, and he's right.
But it's manual focus.
Yes, it has beautiful character.
That's why I need lessons.
You just need practice. That's what you need.
Well, okay, practice, okay. I am sure if I lived down your way that you and I would hang out quite frequently since I'm retired, okay?
There's a meeting halfway possibility in Cleveland, I think.
Well, it's just about I might as well go to Chattanooga. I'm going to do some camping pretty soon, and I'll probably be back down the Chattanooga area. I'll let you know when that's going to happen. I'll bring my camping trailer down there, and then we'll maybe do a photo. I'll try to make it so you're available when I go camping. I like to come down to Harrison Bay, not as much as Phil does.
Right.
I do like to come down there. I got a kick out of his video today because he goes over there to shoot the wrens at the brush pile, which I know where that's at. I've seen it. Well, today he got bummed out because somebody unloaded their dogs over there and ran all the birds off. So he went to another part, but that was like his favorite place to go. And I was listening to his video and I got a kick out of it when he said, yeah, somebody got out of their car with their dogs and chased all the birds away. Gas here in California is $6.35 a gallon because our moron politicians. Now, we're not going to bring politics into the chat box, but yeah, I don't get it myself. So
I'm pretty sure they're right, though.
Yeah.
That normally is one of the two major factors that dictates fuel prices. The other being the fuel manufacturing companies.
Yeah. Well, I guess the problem happens to be they're having trouble getting the tankers into the out of the Persian Gulf into the red. What sea is that? I can't remember what sea it is now. It's the Strait of Hormuz or whatever they're calling about. There was a YouTube video I was watching today about what the problem is, and I guess there's like 20 billion barrels a day that come through there. That's a lot of oil.
It's a lot. Them tankers are enormous.
Look, I read this on a Facebook group yesterday, and I'll talk about it just for a second. I told somebody on there, they were complaining. I says, how soon we forget here in Tennessee in 2008 when we had the economy problem with the housing market and gasoline went to $4.20 a gallon here. How soon we forget? I said, so until it gets $4.20 a gallon, we really can't cry about it, okay?
Right.
When it gets past that, they will. But diesel's what kills me. I'm serious. It's $5.15 a gallon up here.
Wow.
And that's going to affect a lot of things. Shipping and food prices will probably go up.
Yeah, your freight price is directly connected to your product that you're buying.
Everything is. Even manufacturing is connected to oil. When they're all these plastics and stuff we deal with anymore. But anyways,
that's true.
Yeah. So let's talk about some camera bodies a little bit. And I don't have any time limit on this, by the way, on this stream. But I have been looking at, I don't know why, maybe it's gas, okay, like Greg says. But Ron, did you see my first question about sharing the screen above? No, let me see. Hold on. Oh, hey Ron, I can't remember if I asked, when you share your screen, are you able to with YouTube or do you need to use OBS? Well, Greg, tonight I am not using OBS. I am streaming directly out of Zoom, and Zoom has a share screen function. I don't think I can share yeah, you can share your screen in YouTube Studio. If you're just streaming from YouTube Studio, there is a way to share it, and there's a button that comes up. I cannot show you that tonight, but maybe I'll do a video. If you're just wanting to use YouTube Studio to stream, you can do that. David, don't you do that all the time? Don't you just stream right from YouTube?
No, not anymore. I used to back in the day, and if I stream from my phone, I do. But if I stream here, I use OBS now.
Yeah, you can. I have done this. You can share your screen out of YouTube. Tonight, I am not. I'm running a Zoom meeting and streaming it through YouTube, which is a little more complicated. Obviously, you can see on the screen in the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube video, it says Zoom, and that means I'm streaming out of Zoom. Let's see, I missed some stuff here. Thanks, Ron. Okay. Tony said the Velo adapters mount my M42 lenses properly. The K and F adapters do not line up correctly. Good to know. He said the Velo, I guess Velo makes one too.
Yeah, there's about 4 or 5 companies that make those adapters. You can spend some money on them if you want. There's Earth, URTH, I think is the company. They make some, and Viltrox makes them, and they're pretty pricey, but they're not really, they don't bring that much to the table.
Oh,
some of them are so poor quality that you won't get decent alignment, or you lose infinity focus because the gauge line's off, you know.
I could see myself coupling that Pentax lens to my Z50 Mark II.
Yeah, I would recommend the 28 if you do that, because it's going to put you at about 42 millimeters. If on the crop sensor, if you put this 55 on there, it's going to be like an 80. You know, unless you like a longer focal length.
Well, actually, no, not for the Z50 Mark II. In fact, I think 28 would be more than I would really like to find like about an 18 to get more around 20, to get more around 28.
Yeah, I have not noticed if they make lenses that wide.
Yeah, probably not.
I know I've seen the 28, the 35s, the 55s.
Yeah.
I have that.
See, I already got, I'll show you here. I already got a couple lenses that I picked up.
I have the 51.8S as well as this 55 millimeter Asahi, and I shoot them both. But
yeah,
I shoot this one when I want to shoot from the waist. If I'm shooting street, I like to use this because then I can flip out the view screen and look down and shoot like waist level. And that way people don't notice you're photographing them. It's bizarre. It's like if you hold the camera to your face, they see you, and it breaks the continuity of the scene. But if you shoot from the waist and you're holding it down and looking down at it, they don't notice it.
Now really the ZF, does it have the flippy screen?
Yeah.
Like the Z50 Mark II?
It flips out. And
it rotates?
Yeah.
That's like the Z50 Mark II. I tell you what, for landscape photography, that's not convenient. Okay.
Oh yeah, but it gets in the way of the tripod, don't it?
It gets in the way of the L bracket and everything. It's really hard to manipulate. I prefer the Z8 style, or the older style, the D500, the D7500. They all had that. Right. But that screen there. But the Z50 Mark II has that. But you know, for my Z50 Mark II, and that's really, you know, the camera body that I want to use for walking around. Right. I just, you know, to me, there's just nothing wrong with this camera. All right.
Yeah.
Not for what I want to do. I even took it out last Thursday only and did waterfall photography with the 16-50 f2.8 lens. Okay.
Nice.
On there. But for my purposes, it wasn't wide enough. But this is my own problem. Okay. I could have solved it by taking this lens with me. Okay, this is the 7 Artisans 10 millimeter f2.8.
Wow!
And I didn't have it with me, and then what I like about this particular one here is it takes a 62 millimeter filter thread, which you know I have to use filters at the waterfalls, and I didn't take it with me, and I've actually used this a couple times for some architectural stuff in Crossville. So this 10 millimeter on the Z50 is more like a 15.
Right.
So that would be just about perfect. You know, I don't have any zoom capabilities. And then I've got the Viltrox 25 millimeter 1.7. I think that's the Air for the Z50. I bought that for the, it's a nice lens. But the only thing with that is it's good for street and walk around, but it's a 25. So what did I say, 27, 25? It's a 25. So that makes it more like a 30, a 42.
Yeah, somewhere in there, 38, 40, somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like too long. So the 10 millimeter though, for waterfalls would be okay. And I need next time I go out, I'm gonna take that.
I have the Nikon 10 to 20 millimeter zoom lens on the Z50 that I'm filming with right now.
That's that AFP lens, isn't it? The DX lens.
Yeah, it's a DX lens. Yeah, It's got VR. It says it right there on the front. I'm looking at the front of the lens now, but I'm running it right now. Let's see. I'm at about 18 millimeters right now.
Yeah. So look here. Let me pull something up here and show you. That is actually on sale at Nikon right now. Okay. I'll pull it up and show you real quick. If you get down to this refurbished sale and go to other stuff, and it'll show you. Let's see where it's at. I was just in here today looking at these lenses they had. Not sure what page it's on. Here it is, right here. The 10 to 20, which is a good lens.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna show you.
It's cheap though. It's plastic lens mount.
It is, but okay, if you want to buy it, all right, you can buy it tonight for $223 refurbished.
That's cheap.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, that's a great landscape lens, because you're going to stop down the landscape lens anyway.
Yeah, you put that on a DX camera and you're good to go. Okay, and it takes a 72 millimeter filter thread, which is important when you're dealing with filters.
Yeah.
You know, but what did Tony said? Look at this deal from B&H today only. Okay, I'll bite. Let me copy that link. Tony wants to show us here. Let's see, where am I at? Let's see what he's going to show us. Oh yeah, Phil T brought this to my attention today. This is the new Takina 11-16 f2.8 with focus motor, which means it will work with older DSLRs like the 5500s and the 3000s. Look at the price of that.
Oh, I can't see it.
Oh, wait a minute. Why not? Oh, I got to share my screen. Let me share my screen. All right. There it is. It's coming.
Wow.
Sorry about that. If you're looking for a wide angle, I already have a Takina 11-16. Okay. Now you mention it. Now this is an F-mount lens, so you do need the FTZ adapter. But I already have the Takina 11-16 DX2, which is the older version of this lens. I bought it used from a guy in pristine condition for 120 bucks. They're selling it on B&H right now. So if you're looking for a wide angle, super wide angle for your F-mount cameras or your mirrorless, it'll work on the mirrorless. So put this on, and this is another lens I could have took with me. I was trying to be lightweight, okay?
All right.
But if I taken the 11-16 with me, I could have put that on the Z50 Mark II and used it. And it takes 77 millimeter filter threads, which is my common filter thread. So you know, it works really well with the FTZ adapter on the mirrorless bodies.
Yeah.
You know, this is a landscape lens, so you're not going to worry about focus speed and all that. It's sharp, very sharp.
I was about to ask, does it resolve good?
Yeah, it's very sharp. You know, the only thing that's quirky about this lens, and some people, you know, may get used to it, may not, is the focusing ring on it. So let me show you how this works. It has a clutch to engage manual focus, and when you do it like this, it does nothing. It's in autofocus. So it's a little different in its design. But the important thing is this: they sell this in many flavors. If you find one used somewhere, okay, the older ones I believe have silver instead of gold, either the ring here or the writing. But the important thing is the last part right there, the DX2. If it says DX, it does not have a built-in focusing motor. So it's not good on the older bodies. And if it does have a DX2, and this new one I just showed you that Tony sent us, they do have the focusing motors. They will work on all DSLR camera bodies, all the way back to the D40s and the 50s and all those. Okay, so it's kind of important if your camera body does not have the screw drive, then you want to make sure you get the DX2 model of this. So when I bought this from a guy in Knoxville, and I actually met him at the gas station over there, and he had sold most of his DSLR stuff because he went to mirrorless, of course. And what was left was this and a camera body. I wasn't interested in the camera body, but I was interested in this lens. So $120, it was like pristine.
Look at the
but
chat,
yeah,
Ron.
Tony,
Greg's got you in trouble on here. Says, oh man, Ron is about to buy a new lens live.
No, I'm not. I don't need that lens, okay? No, I'm not going to buy that lens. I don't need it. but that's a good find if somebody's looking for a wide-angle lens for your Nikon. That's a good lens. Hey, David, how's it going? Just jumped over from the Camera Life podcast. My wife is going to kill me spending all this time watching these shows. Yeah. Well, we've been on for 75 minutes, and I'm not going to guarantee you that we're going to get off anytime soon. Anyways, I wanted to talk about some bodies. I was looking at some bodies today, and I get on Facebook Marketplace a lot and look at Nikon gear that's for sale, especially if it's local to me, and there's a lot of it for sale. And I ran across a D7100 just over in Oak Ridge, about 30 miles from here. And it had an 18 to 55 and a 55 to 300 lens. It was his wife's, he said, it had less than 10,000 on it. But they want $400 for it. And I'm not interested in the lenses, but I might have been interested in the body. But now I'm not. I'm not interested in the D7100. What I am interested in is one of two bodies right now, and I'm kind of looking it all over, but I am interested in either the D7200 or possibly the D80. And the D80 has the old CMOS sensor in it. Is it CMOS? CMOS?
Yeah, no, it's CCD.
The same as the D200 type sensors, the D70s and all that. They switched out of that sensor when the D90 went away. But you can get a Nikon D80 in good shape on MPB for a really reasonable price. And I was looking at some prices today. I've always spent my I've always spent my time over on MPB, Use Photo Pro. They have different. Use Photo Pro has different gear. It's right. more older gear than MPB and KEH has. So Use Photo Pro is a good place to go and look for vintage stuff if you're looking, or something specialty like a battery grip or something like that, because they always got a lot of those. Woody still has his D7100.
This
D200 back up here. This
D200 was bought from MPB. It had a few issues, and it still carries one. The sensor, the little lever here that opens the memory card door, it doesn't flip back automatically. It works, see how it doesn't latch? That's because the little lever doesn't flip back by itself. You have to push it back, and then it'll latch just fine. That's the only physical problem it has. I don't care. I download them through the USB port from the camera anyway. This piece of rubber was missing. I bought this piece off eBay, and it had self-adhesive back, and I just stuck it on it perfectly. I think I paid $10 for that, but you don't need it to take pictures. The camera has that sticky door, and I think it was $103 or $105. And it came with a good nickel battery. It had a Nikon battery that came with it. I bought the battery grip because it was only like $40. It's a Nikon battery grip. It's OE original equipment.
Where did you get that camera? Where did you get that body?
Bought it
eBay?
MPB.
Oh, MPB?
Yeah. They had 2 or 3 of them, but the goal with this originally started out as I wanted to get the cheapest mid-grade camera they were selling and see if it would take good pictures. That was the initial kind of premise. And I got this thing in, and I put a lens on it. The first lens I was using wasn't this one. It was what? Oh, I had the 50 millimeter f1.4. It was the AFD. It's a screw drive focus, and this will do that. And the pictures that were coming out of the camera were stunning. Like the colors of these CCD sensors are incredible. They're really rich, straight out of camera. And I was just blown away at the image quality coming out. So it's quickly become one of my favorite walk around town cameras.
Yeah.
I bought this
so like the
f1.8 and put on it, and it's lived on it ever since.
Yeah. That's why I was looking at the D80, because you can buy one for around $130, $140.
Yeah.
And you can find them. They're out there. I think the D80 is a newer body than the D200.
Maybe.
If I remember. I think so. Anyways, I was wanting to pick up something like that, the DX, okay?
The D300's a DX sensor.
Yeah.
And that was a super popular like wedding photography camera for ages.
Well, that's the problem. See, if you get like a D300, it's probably going to be high shutter count.
Hold on just a second. I got to answer Teresa. I'll be right back.
That's okay. So it's like buying a D750, that's used by a pro. You might end up with something that's a good camera, but it's got a lot of shutter clicks on it. Today I ran my shutter click program on my D500, and my D500 is at about 101,000 on there. So Sariv Perker, I can't even say his name. Anyways, he says that those lenses are all radioactive lenses. Does that mean your teeth are going to turn gold? The Super Takamars are all radioactive lenses. Interesting, okay? Interesting to know that. I'll have to ask David if he's had any ill effects from using that lens. So let me back up in the chat here while David's gone. Let's see. Woody said, you two guys are above my pay grade on camera equipment. I have 2 DX cameras and a total of 6 lenses. Well, I'm trying to get down to just 2, okay? The Z8's a heavy body. Woody, you know that because you had one in your hands for a while and he sent it back. So the D7100 is a good body. If you want a little more buffer and a little better low light capability for better ISO performance, then the D7200 is a nice little upgrade for about $100. Greg says he has 2 D300. His first digital camera was a D70, dried from humidity and in the Panama jungle. It was dried out from the humidity, or it died in the humidity. That's good to know about them lenses. They're radioactive. Thanks for letting us know that. But anyways, while he's gone for a second, let's run over here. Let me share my screen real quick. And let's run over here to Adorama. And that's one of the things I was about to say. I spent a lot of time on MPB and KEH when I'm looking for stuff, and I forgot that Anorama actually has a used camera gear department. And I think they got some pretty good stuff over there. Like, for example, if I go into the camera section and just start browsing around, let's see if they got a Nikon D80. I actually like their site better than MPB. It's easier to navigate.
Is it $18?
No, that's starting out for parts. Here we go. Let me show you. So this one here is average. This one is $93. That's reasonable. Now, if you want to know what average is, you click on the little question here, and it says shows signs of moderate wear and or usage. LCD may be scratched. This is generic now, but it still works, and they do have a 180-day warranty. Okay,
that's a good deal.
No, it is a good deal for and I may consider buying it. I'm not sure. This says here the picture does not represent the actual item. That is what I don't like about MPB either. They don't show the actual item, and you can test this out because if you look at their product number, the last 6 or 7 digits of their product number is the actual serial number of the camera body. Well, if you get to the photograph like this one here, let's see if I can see it. This one doesn't show it. If you get to the photograph where there's a shot of the bottom of the photo of the camera,
Yeah.
the camera body they're showing is a generic body of some other serial number. It doesn't match to what they're selling, so you know. But when you go into Use Photo Pro, they actually show it. So, you know, this is not the actual camera body, but you get an idea what the button placement is. It doesn't have an autofocus button, a dedicated one, but yeah, I'm sure you could reprogram that one button right there to do that.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Have an AF on, but.
Yeah. So, like, for example, if you look under the cover here, you can see that it takes one of the older USB cables. Yeah. And right there is the remote trigger, and that's the same one that's on the D7500, the Z62s. Okay. So I have one of those remote triggers. They call them the rectangular plug. But yeah, that's, you know, and if you look at, like, let's look over here. Let's see if they got a 7200. So their 7200s, they have excellent, if you want an excellent one, you can pay $500. It's
like a brand new one, essentially.
Probably, but you can go to average and get one for $365. Okay. Yeah.
And that's what it'll look like if you use it any at all.
Well, you know, it's an older camera body. You know. So, you know, basically, I've been looking at those two bodies. What are you laughing
Wilson's
about?
Done got you again. Ron said, forget lenses. He's going to buy a camera live.
No, I'm not going to do that. Okay. Not live.
Hard.
No, I've been thinking about it for about 3 or 4 days heavily. I've been kind of back and forth in my mind. So here's what I did. I just bought another lens. Okay. I didn't buy it live. Okay. I traded my kit lens for the Z50. I traded it off to MPB for another lens. And what I'm going to get, it's coming, is a Nikon 16 to 85 f3.5 5.6 VR. Yeah. It was a kit lens on the D70. Okay. If you do the reviews on this, if you listen to Christopher Frost and some of the other guys, they love this lens. This lens is sharp. So a 16 to 85 is an upgrade from the kit lens of 18 to 55. Yeah. So I got it. I got it with the intentions of using it on my D500. What's so damn funny now? Hold on a minute. Oh God. My first. Okay, I'm gonna skip by Greg's comment because we already know what he said. But this guy here, Sarav, I can't, I'm sorry if I'm really messing your name up, okay? But his first camera was a D80, okay? Woody said all his camera gears come from Adorama and Nikon Refurbish. Come on, Ron, you're debt-free. Yeah, I'm debt-free. I am. I could buy it. I could buy it right now if I wanted to. But I'm not ready. I'm not ready to commit to that just this moment, okay? Because I'm kind of waffling between the D80 and the D7200. Maybe I ought to just buy both of them, you know? Okay, so here's the deal. Today is March the 11th. In 10 days, I get my YouTube money, okay?
You know what day it comes in.
Oh, I know exactly what day it comes in. I will get my YouTube money, and when I do, I will be getting another camera body, but I'm not sure which one it's going to be yet, okay? But the D5, I was just saying while you were gone talking to Teresa, my D500 is about 50% of its expected life expectancy. It's at about 100,000 frames. I just pulled the file today and looked at it. And a friend of mine has a D500, and she has actually had it back for repair just recently, and they had to repair, the buttons quit working on the back, and they had to replace the motherboard in it, or the main board, or whatever it was, and it cost her about, I think it was about $650 to do that. Yeah. I bet it's a D500, so she paid the money. Yeah, her 500 PF quit focusing, and they had to send it in. And it was, I think, $450 to fix that.
Wow.
So, but here's the thing. She does not have new camera gear. She doesn't spend money on new camera gear. And me and her talked about it one time. I said, it would behoove you to maybe once every 4 or 5 years, send one of your camera bodies in and let them clean it and go through it, you know?
Yeah, as much as she
to
uses
keep it going, you know?
I pulled the file on this one, Ron. This D200 only has 33,000 actuations on it.
That's excellent.
Yeah, this is like a nearly brand new camera. Somebody carried it and never hardly fixed it.
So have you gotten some photographs out of it?
Oh yeah, and they're beautiful.
You have?
I took some photos yesterday. I don't know how. I'd have to email them to you or something. But
Yeah.
let me see.
Yeah. Are you happy with them?
Absolutely.
Hey, you want to look at some photographs?
Yeah, you got something to share?
I do. I want to show you some photographs here. I took the time to edit these today, and let me show this to you. Let me pull this up so you can see it. I'm gonna try to go to full screen here. I don't know if I can or not. Maybe not. You should be able to see that. Let's see if it's coming through. Am I sharing? Yeah, I'm sharing. There it comes. Okay. All right, here we go. What I did is I went through my Lightroom catalog today, and I did some metadata searches on it for different camera bodies that I've used over the last 25 years. Since I got into DSLRs, you know, and mirrorless cameras. I started out with the D1X in 2000.
Yeah.
Anyways, I went through and got some of my photographs I had taken all the way back to then, and I thought I would edit I didn't edit them very much, but what I did, let me see if I can pull this first one up. So here's the first one here. What I did is in the bottom left-hand corner, I listed the specifications and the date I took the photograph. Just to show you that these crop sensor bodies in these DX lenses are very capable lenses to shoot with. So this here's a D500 photograph with a Nikon DX 12 to 24 f4 lens. And that was right when I first got my D500. That was back in July of 2020. I came from a D7500 to the D500. And then this is a D70 shot with the Nikon 50 f1.8D lens on the D70. And that was just a couple years ago. I had a D70, somebody had handed me one they had found, and the grips were real sticky on it and what have you. Yeah. And I cleaned those out with alcohol. They cleaned up really nice. But I had it
like it sweats off some kind of oil or something that makes the rubber tacky. Yeah, and you can and just regular isopropyl alcohol will wipe it right off.
Yeah, you can read about this. It was the type of rubber they used on the D70s. The D70s prone to this. Anyways, it had been in a box for a lot of years, and somebody handed it to me, and I cleaned it up and used it, and then I didn't use it anymore for a while. I probably should have kept that one. This is also from the D70. Just look how sharp this picture is. D70, the 50 f1.8D lens, you know, the AFD lens. I think it's that's really a good little camera. But I don't know how many megapixels the D70 was. Probably about 6, I think.
Yeah, I just sent you an email with 3 photos in it that I took yesterday. And I think the D200 is 10 megapixels, so.
Yeah.
But so look at the detail. Look at the detail in the spider webs.
Here is one that was shot with the D200, okay, with the Nikon 200 to 500. That's a modern lens, okay? Mm-hmm. That 200 to 500 zoom. And I had that on the camera. I was actually in this was actually taken in Cates Cove. I had it on the camera shooting wildlife, and I just happened to swing around and take a picture of this. And believe it or not, one of my bosses from work, who's a horse person, she actually bought a copy of this print.
Really?
And wanted it for her house. Yeah, there was just something about it that struck her, I guess.
Interesting.
But yeah, look at the detail on that. Yeah, of course, that's an f5.6. I just got your email. Here's another D200 shot with the AFS 18 to 55 kit lens VR. And there's quite a bit of detail here. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Let me see I don't know if I can or not. I need to get familiar with this program. I don't know how to zoom in. Anyways, there's a lot of detail in that photograph. Here's a D7100 shot. Here's a Woody shot for you with the 12 to 24 f4 lens on it. That was probably tripod mounted. It was a night shot. And there's a lot of detail when you zoom in on those bricks.
Oh yeah, you can tell even when it ain't zoomed in.
Another D7100 shot with the 12 to 24 f4. That's the one I almost got shot over for trespassing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a story in itself right there. D7100. Now I had a D. My progression was. I was trying to think. It was like D1X, D100, and then D50, and then D3200. Then a D5500, and then I went to a D7100. And I had that D7100 for quite a while. And I bought that 12 to 24 lens from a local guy and used it extensively for a lot of landscape photography. This was the Nikon D5500 with the AFS 70 to 300 f4.556 VR IFED lens. This was a good lens. Handheld at 200, 400 millimeters. It was at 230 millimeters on that lens, handheld. That actually won an award up at the Obed Wild and Scenic River Photo Contest. I think I got second place for recreation. If I could, let me look here a second. Let me see how I zoom in. Zoom in is the plus key. So let me see if I can zoom in. And click on it. It ain't gonna let me. View, zoom in. Well, let me do it again. View, zoom in. I mean, that's a D5500.
Yeah, that's a good looking photo.
That's pretty good detail.
Ron, try this. Hold down the control key and scroll the mouse wheel.
Control. Oh yeah. Hey, it works. You know Mac.
I've had one or two.
Yeah. Okay, so now I can scroll backwards to go to 100%. I didn't know that. I learned something new tonight. Another D5500 shot with your lens, okay? The AFP 10 to 20.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a beautiful shot. D5500 with the Nikon 35 millimeter f1.8. That's in Cates Cove off of Rich Mountain Road.
That's the lens I took the photos I sent you. I shot them with yesterday.
Okay. D7500. That's what happened. I went from the 7100 to the 7500, and I still had the same lens, a 12 to 24. This was done in 2019. Same setup. Okay, different time. That's in January. This is in April. Same camera, different waterfall, different place. Just look at the detail up here in these rocks, okay?
Yeah, it's incredible.
It is. And I guess my point is here, we don't need newer camera gear to take good photographs.
Yeah.
Another D500 shot with the 12 to 24. D500 has the same sensor as the D7500, just a few more bells and whistles in the camera body. This is a D7500 shot with that 70 to 300 lens. It's the chimney tops in the Smokies. That's where the big Gatlinburg fire started back in 2016. Still scarred back in 2019. It's my beautiful wife. This here's a vintage photograph. Nikon D1X, AFS 17 to 35 f2.8. And that was taken in October of 2001.
That's 25 years ago.
Yeah, that's a D1X raw file that I have edited, recently. Well, not recently, but I've re-edited in Lightroom. I didn't have the tools, that we had back in. Here's another D1X shot, 25-year-old camera, still holds up today, with the Nikon 17 to 35 f2.8. And this is a D500 with the 12 to 24. there's a pattern here. If you're looking at this, this is the 10 to 20 AFP lens of yours on the D7500. If you'll notice that a majority of these shots, first off, they're all with DX bodies, crop sensor, but the majority of them are taken with the 12 to 24 lens, f4. Of course, we have other lenses available to us nowadays on the mirrorless side, but this was a good lens, okay? D500.
And it wasn't overly heavy either, was it?
No, it wasn't. No, it was probably the best lens I ever had. So, you know, we got those there. Let me pull those photographs down that you just emailed me. But my point, my point with showing those was this, you know, those are all crop sensor bodies, okay? Let me see if I can save these.
And not very expensive lenses either.
No. I bought that D7100 used from the camera shop in Knoxville. I happened to walk in there one day, which I did frequently.
F32 camera?
Yeah. I happened to walk in there one day. Can't remember why. And when I did, they had this body in the case. I think I had the D5500 then. And it was the only camera body I had. And I want to say I had the 12 to 24 lens on the D5500 because I do have some vacation shots with that combo. And I bought that camera body, and I want to say I paid about $600 for it used.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with it, okay? And then it got to be a hassle because it does not have a rotating screen on it. And when you're doing waterfalls and stuff and you want to get really, really low, it's really helpful to have that flip up screen to look at it. So the D7500 did have that flip up screen. So I bought that and sold the D7100.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't, you know, I didn't sell it on MPB. I sold it locally. I think that was before I found out about MPB. Let me get your pictures up on the screen here. Oops.
Now, understand, these are straight out of camera JPEGs. I have done 0 edits to them.
Okay.
I don't remember what the color profile was set to. I don't think it's anything special other than just standard. But
I'm not sure if I can pull that up, but this is from the D200?
Yeah, shot yesterday.
Okay. I bet the lighting was pretty low for you there, huh?
Yeah, the overcast skies were super dark, and so you know how it makes it a giant white box and it makes everything underexposed slightly.
Yeah.
So, you know, I should have added about 1/3 of a stop of exposure compensation, and it would have probably brightened them back up and fixed it. But yeah,
would it have blown out? Would it have blown out your sky?
Yeah, it would. If you can see the overcast clouds in the sky there, it was just completely cloud coverage yesterday during the day.
It has a vibe. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I like it. It has a vibe. Them guys are obviously taking a break.
They're watching somebody down in that pit do something. I don't remember what they were doing. There was somebody down the bottom, down in that basement area. This is where used to be one of the trolley barns, and where the sports barn was, and they demolished it. And now they're digging the basement for a Drury hotel. Says
Greg said, Ron, I'm messing with you. I feel the same way of spending money. Just hit the buy button when no one is around. I did that today on Amazon. I bought a thing for my monitor, a Visa mount and a clamp to clamp it to my desk because I want to free up some real estate on my desk. And here I'll show you real quick here. I'll come back to David's picture in a minute. Let me show you. This is how my monitor corner is, and it's kind of messy right there. So what I want to do is get that stuff there. Huh? Oh, you want to see it all? Wait a minute. Here, I'll do this in a minute. Let me finish showing your pictures. I've shown my room before. Okay, I'm not ashamed.
I can't spin my camera, so y'all don't get to see.
Well, so I bought a 10-foot USB cord on purpose. Okay, so I can move around the room with it. So let's look at the next picture. Wow, I like that. What building is that?
That's the Tivoli. It's the theater, but the next door building is the Chattanooga Symphony and Orchestra building, and I think it's going to be part of the Tivoli entertainment complex when they're done. But
this is the same. This is the same corner. The opposite corner is this where that new motel was.
It's down the block from this.
Okay.
About 1,000 feet north or south from there. But yeah, I've been grabbing a photo of this building as they've been working on it over. But most of what they've been doing has been on the inside, so it hasn't really been changing much on the outside. And recently they've added those jacks, and they've been working on the exterior now. But I was just looking to get photos of something, but you can just look how strong the color are. This is just a JPEG right out of the camera.
Now, what lens was that today?
The 35-1.8 DX.
Okay. The DX 35-1.8?
Yeah.
The little cheap plastic one?
Yeah, that one.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it takes really good photos. It's a sharp little lens.
And it makes you 50 millimeters on the DX body, doesn't it?
Exactly. That's the reason I picked it.
Yeah. And it's reasonably priced.
Oh, yeah. I bought it second-handed, so I didn't give much for it.
I notice your trees are getting leaves on it already down there.
Yeah, they're budding in the city. A lot of them,
yeah.
I've got some, I should have sent you one of the ones with the darker clouds. That's the building that you're talking about.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just wandering around grabbing random photos. They call it the Waymark.
I like the look of the feel of grain. Okay, it's like it's got this feel to it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Did you only send me those 3?
Yeah, I only threw 3 in there. I didn't want to overwhelm you.
I didn't want to miss any.
Hey,
but yeah, and
if I got time, I'll send one of those with the really dark clouds. Let me grab that, and I'll stick it in the email right
yeah,
there.
do that. There's another lens that they talk about very, very kindly about. It's an older AFS lens. It's a full frame lens. It's the 18 to 35 f3.5 to 4.5 GED, and you can buy it used right now for about $200. That's the 18 to 35. I know a lot of guys talk about the 17 to 55, but the 18 to 35 does not have VR. And I find for my purposes if I'm using these on the mirrorless cameras, that VR is kind of important to me because of the sensors, how they resolve everything so darn sterile, sharp.
Right.
I think VR is kind of important in that aspect. And then there was another lens that the angry photographer mentioned today. Which one was that? The 28 something? I didn't write it down. I was watching a video of his. But anyways, I am definitely considering another DSLR body, and it will be probably the D80. I'm thinking because of the price. And if it broke, it wouldn't break my heart so much.
Right.
Let me grab that.
Yeah, there's some real moody clouds in this next photo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dang.
It was like that all day yesterday.
Yeah. Here, let's look at that again.
And it never did rain. Not till last night.
Oops. That's the wrong share. Okay, hold on a minute. I'm getting all confused here. Let me share my screen. If I can find it. That's not it. It's the wrong share. It must be this one. That's not it either. That's it. I got it now.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I bet you was getting ready to get a storm down there.
Yeah, it rained last night, so it came in finally and started raining. But that was about midday yesterday afternoon. You can pull the exit date. I set the time in the camera yesterday, actually.
You're going to ask me to find that exfil data. I promise you, the next time I do this,
I think I was stopped down to F5.6 or F8.
Here we go. The next time I do this, I will be used to this program. So your file size was 5 megabytes?
Yeah, it's a 10 megapixel camera, so it's not a big image. That being a JPEG.
Yeah. Let's see, properties. I'm looking for the settings. Histogram, nice histogram.
There it is.
Where? Hold on a minute. Is it here?
I thought it was in the one that said EXIF tool, but maybe I was wrong.
I'm missing it. That's here.
Scroll down some. Huh? It ain't showing it, is it?
No, but that doesn't, David. That doesn't mean nothing. I could maybe not know how this program works.
Okay, but yeah, it's,
I will practice with it the next time.
I'm pretty sure I was shooting at F8 or F5.6, one of the two. I normally linger on those two apertures when I'm wandering around the city. And then I was shooting in aperture priority so that it would pick the shutter speed. And then I was doing the metering where it meters the center area, not the center dot, but the center region, because it's got 3 different metering modes. It's got, whatever they call that, matrix metering, and then it's got that kind of center weighted, and then it's got the center point. I use center weighted. That was what I was with, because I got it on the back of the camera.
And the D200 has those.
Yeah, it's just it's a selector switch. See?
Yeah,
it's right here. If I zoom in on the camera here, there we go.
Oh yeah, I see it.
If I get it right, there it is.
I faintly, yes, it's there below the joystick. I faintly remember that from their older bodies.
Yeah, if I can get it in the camera, man, it's working back. But yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, down in the bottom right down there.
The shutter drive is down here. It's on the front. Yeah, it's on the side here to tell it how to was it continue to focus the focus mode right there.
Yeah,
can't see
total
it
different.
Light. But yeah.
No, but I'm used to those bodies. I think the D500 is not like that, but I remember those buttons from the D70 had it on there too, I think.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's see. Let me catch up on the comments, and we're probably going to end this pretty soon. We've been on here for about an hour and a half, and that's a good stream. I love it. Ray Saldano said, the D500 I sold had 275,000 on it when I sold it, and the guy I sold it to was in class for photojournalism. He used it for class and for the next year as a working news photographer. He said it still works. Okay.
That's
you know what that means.
Right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my D500. I've already said I'm not gonna get rid of it. Mass Angler has first dibs on the 500 PF if I ever sell it.
He said the same thing about mine.
I told him one time, I think I told him in a live stream, I said, I'm gonna go ahead and put that in my will, okay? Because my wife won't get any money for it. I'm just gonna put it in my will and will it to you, okay, Rodney? He said he appreciated that. I'll do it too. I'll say, okay, the 500 PF goes to Rodney Bass Angler. Go find him on the internet.
Yeah.
So, Saray says he likes your progression of cameras. Yeah, I've been around the block. Okay, I did have a period of time I was out of photography. I started in the middle 70s. We had kids, family, kind of slows that all down. I would take pictures of the family, but I never really got into landscape photography or nature photography until about 2000. Okay. When I used to hang around this professional photographer who did weddings when I lived down in Georgia, and he started into digital, and the first real digital, well, not real, but the first digital camera I had was a Nikon 950. And I don't remember anything about that camera, but it was one of those those hinged cameras, and it had an LCD. It had a screen on the back, a fixed little thing. Now, I ain't lying to you, okay? He hired me as a second shooter at weddings. I bought a strobe frame bracket for that thing. It had a port, a trigger port for a flash. The strobe frame bracket had curved up above the camera. I mounted that little camera on the strobe frame, and then I put a SB28 on top of that strobe frame and ran a cable down to the camera. And I second shot wedding photographs for him with that little rig.
And it worked.
And it worked. And then I went to a 995 was the successor of that. And I think it's a little more megapixels. May have been like a 2 megapixel versus 6 megapixel. And then I finally broke down and got a loan, okay? I got a 401k loan to buy my D1X. And that was a $5,000 body when it was new.
Wow.
Right? And it was a big body. It was like a F5, you know, it was a big body, or a D5. My wife, she wanted one, so we bought her a D1H, which is a sports model of that, fast frames per second, you know, and she did the same thing. She took out a loan in her 401k and she bought that body. But the first lens I had was one of those photographs I showed you. The 17 to 35 f2.8. That was the only lens I had for a long time, and I shot weddings with that rig. I shot weddings with that rig for a whole year.
Wow.
Until I realized it was too much work. See, Woody started off with a D3300 with the 2 kit lenses as a retirement gift from my company. The grandkids have it now. And Tony says he has the 18 to 35 and he uses it on his Z6 II and his D780. D780 is a cool camera. Tony, that doesn't have VR in it, does it? Ray says he started to enjoy going out with his buddy and photographing the trains as he live streams. Well, there you go. That's another genre for you. I'm always interested in those trains.
Yeah, he shared a few of his train photos the other day with me.
Well, hey, Ray, send me some of those photos, and the next time we stream, I'll show them on the stream if you want to show them off. Tony says the 16. I didn't think the 18 to 35 had VR. You know, and you know, we all talk about that. What did we do before VR? You know,
this. We just took the pictures and didn't care. Yeah,
I was at the grocery store doing one of my grocery videos again. I do on my retirement channel, and I was talking on the camera, and I was texting my wife on the phone while I was there about what flavor ice cream she wanted and all this crap. And I just looked at my camera while I was vlogging in there, and I says, "What did we do before we had cell phones and we came to the grocery store? We couldn't call them and see what they wanted. We just had to get it, you know,
hope for the best."
Yeah. Okay, I'll do a search on that, Ray. Ray said they're on Flickr, and I am on Flickr now too. If you haven't noticed, and I'm sure you have, I've kind of slowed down my Facebook stuff. I'm really just disenchanted with it all, basically, you know. I don't have an Instagram account anymore, and YouTube and Flickr is about all I got right now, so. Anyways, thanks for coming tonight to the live stream. We've been on here way too long for anybody to watch the replay, okay? I doubt they will, but it doesn't matter because I don't monetize my live streams even after the fact because me and Tim Childers, we actually talked about that. We don't make any money on them anyways because they don't get a lot of views, but I leave them on there because I do know there are some people that watch them and they get some use out of them, and I thought this was a really interesting educational experience, if not for the viewers tonight, for me, okay? So, see you, Tony. Thanks for being here. I'm going to leave you on as moderator, by the way. You better learn how to do your job. Ray said he's just a couple hundred photos short of 108,000 photos on Flickr. Well, that's a lot. I guess he's got the pro account. I'm too cheap. I just got the free account, so I get 1,000 pictures, you know. And I'm nowhere near. I'm kind of selective of what I put on Flickr. I'm just put my best stuff up there. You know, I don't post every bird and all that. I try to do fine art stuff on Flickr. Anyways, thanks for coming tonight, and we will catch you all in the next one. All right.
Get your camera out and go take a picture with it.
You heard David. Okay. Don't do like I do and start buying camera gear either.
If you do,
hey, David,
take that camera out and go make a picture with it.
Let me see if I can end this stream on this other computer before I let you go. I got to find it here. It's right here. We are live and in stream. Make sure it's ending here.